Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss show. And in today's episode, I almost forgot to do this episode, to be honest. No, I was going to do this the other day, and it slipped my mind, because there's bigger and better things to worry about. But I know at some point in time, people are going to bring this back up, but I just remember throughout the years of me going at it with Just a Robot and his fan base, that was something that they would always say, is that I need to change. And that's the thing where I'm like, I'm not trying to make it seem like that I'm God's gift to earth, but at the same time, I'm not this person that you're painting me out to be. So my thing is this: if it leads down between me thinking of myself as a good person or this person that you're trying to paint me out to be, I'm gonna think of myself as a good person. I'm not perfect. There's things that I can fix about myself, but it's things where it's like it's the common human stuff. It's like, I just want to be in a better financial situation. I want to be in a better I'm trying to think what else, overall just a better human situation and stuff. But you guys, on the other hand, and that's the thing, like with Just a Robot and his fan base, they always like to give you a headline, but no story. Like, what is there that needs to be changed? Because I feel like the one thing that they would say if they were to answer that question, they'll say that it's my attitude. Why do you guys think that I have an attitude? My thing is this: if you see a dog chained up to a railing, fence, whatever, you just see a dog chained up somewhere, right? Dog's not bothering you. Dog's minding its own business. You walk up to this dog and you just start poking at it with a stick, knowing that dog don't like that. How do you think that dog's going to be reacting to you? You think the dog's going to be wagging its tail, trying to jump into your arms like, oh, take me away from here? No, that dog is going to try to do bodily harm. All right. If something doesn't want to be messed with, something or somebody, if it doesn't want to be messed with, leave it alone. That's the thing is this: what trips me out about Just a Robot and his fan base is that you can say stuff like that, right? And it makes the most amount of sense to anybody else in this world except them. Because the funny thing is that I'll do an episode like this, right? I'll do a whole segment talking about stuff like this, how they just need to just leave me alone, right? Ignore it, leave some comment. You need to move on from this. You need to let this go. You need to, and I'm like, and then it'd be the same ones, they'll turn around and be all like, hey, Just a Robot, when you gonna do a video about TMossBoss? Like, Just a Robot's fans is probably the most toxic fan base on the internet. No, that's one thing about it. If you're Just a Robot, if you've been a Just a Robot fan for years, but you're a Just a Robot, or even if it's on some stuff where you became a Just a Robot fan this year or whenever, if you are an overall Just a Robot fan, something's mentally wrong with you. And it ain't even so much as you being a fan of Just a Robot. Just a Robot, I feel like he's using his fans and his fans is using him. But there's no thought process behind the using. He don't know what he want to do with his fans, and his fans don't know what they want to do with him. So they're just kind of stuck in this conflicting relationship where they don't know what they want, until they sit down and then they communicate, and then Just a Robot realize his fans is using him for the wrong things, and then his fans is gonna realize that he's using them for the wrong things. Then I feel like there'll be that separation, and then it'll probably end up being the closure to Just a Robot's channel and stuff. But getting back to this changing topic, me needing to change. Why is it that you guys are the only people on the internet that's saying this? It's not like that there's friends. It's not like even if we exclude my friends and I guess like some family that knows of my content creating career and stuff. Let random strangers that I met, because they do have that statistic thing on YouTube where it lets you know how many people that are not subscribed that watches your videos. Hold on for a second, let me see if they be changing it up a lot, so I don't know, they might they still have it and stuff. So there's the 4% that still that subscribe to me where they watch my content, but then there's the 95 where they're, dang, I'm like, that's a big difference. But anyways, regardless, all right. But no, there's that 95% that they're not subscribed. So there's like people that are watching, because I know I be doing that with people. Like they go back to the channel, because I know there's channels that I watch but I'm not subscribed to, but I'm like, hey, I know if they're, I don't know why it's like that. That's weird. I'm like, hey, shout out to the people that are not subscribed but you still watch my content and all that stuff on the regular. You know, you might not be a legitimate subscriber, like a ghost. Yeah, that's what we're gonna call you, a ghost subscriber and stuff. So, but anyways, but from the people that watches my videos for the first time, for somebody that watches my videos, you know, they're like a part-time fan, you know, or even a full-time fan, or a ghost subscriber, or a normal subscriber. The people that watches my content for the first time, from my voiceovers, from listening to my music, from my reaction videos, gaming, streaming, TikTok, Instagram, any of that, I never see people leaving comments talking about that I need to change. So why is it that you guys are the only ones that are saying that? Like, what do you think is the reason for this attitude that I give to you guys, but I don't give this attitude to other people, random strangers? Because the way that this is how I personally think. The way that they try to paint me out is that I'm just this overall evil, mean, you know, like I don't get along with nobody. And I'm trying to think to myself, I'm like, fam, like there's people that I've met on the internet from, let's just use Twitch streaming as an example, right? When I go into a person's stream, I'm not in there demanding stuff. I'm not in there trying to criticize their gameplay, whatever the game. And I'm like, fam, I follow. Hold on for a second. Let me just open up Twitch and see all the different people there I follow where they're playing. So I'm following people that play Arc Raiders, Grand Theft Auto, Marvel Rivals, what else? Outlast. You know, like I follow all these different types of people in different types of genres. I'm like, there's people that do like just chatting streams, you know, they be doing traveling streams, stuff like that. I follow all these different people, right? I go into their stream. I'm as respectful as I can be. I'm, you know, not disrespecting them or anybody in their stream. What else? You know, I'm not asking them personal questions. I'm not, you know, making backhanded comments and things. The thing, and I'm like, the only time I guess where if I am being disrespectful in somebody's stream is when I guess, yeah, if they come to my stream being disrespectful, and if I see that they're live, then I'm like, all right, I'll probably go over there, you know, troll them, rage bait them. I just recently did that to somebody, and he banned me from the stream, and I'm like, cool, mission accomplished. But anyways, but I'm like, they're people, complete strangers, join their stream. I follow them. I'm like, hey, you know, good luck with the streaming. I know it's difficult, but you got this and stuff. How is that, I guess, you know, mean or bad, or it's something that, you know, it's like I have an attitude problem and I need to change? I'm like, fam, even if it's on some like IRL stuff, you know, I go to a business, I'm respectful, I'm not demanding anything, I'm not trying to hassle people over stuff, I'm not trying to cause no problems, you know, like I go places, I show them the same amount of respect that I would want to get if I'm in their shoes and stuff, and I'm going about my business. I had to say, like, that's one thing about it, is that if it was some sort of way to like track down when I'm like going into stores and establishments and all that stuff, I mean, I guess you can do it on the internet and ask around, or because I mean, I don't know, like I guess you'll just have to figure out. I mean, I don't know, I probably would. I feel like now that'll be doing too much, trying to give out a list of streamers. I guess they can vouch for me. It's like, yeah, that's just doing too much. But I'm like, and that's the thing. I know they'll probably, you know, just a robot and his fans, they'll want to go straight back to the stock and stuff. And I'm like, just overall moral of this whole podcast episode, let me be, leave me alone. I don't want to be bothered with y'all no more. But, and I think you'll probably get the hint and understand, like, oh, well, it is only me that he's giving an attitude towards and stuff. So maybe I should back off. Maybe I should leave him alone. Maybe I should go mind my own business and do something productive with my life. But anyways, I wish that there was some form of technology where it can trace my face to any establishment that I went to. I'm trying to think, for like the past almost 10 years, you know, because I feel like, yeah, when I started working in Seattle and I was, you know, I had a little bit of, you know, money in the bank. I mean, even now, I'd still be shopping around and stuff, because I'm like, all throughout the pandemic, I've been shopping around. This year, been shopping around. But let's just go over like the 10-year or almost 10-year period, 2016 all the way up until now. It is the same thing every time when I go into an establishment. Blank face, probably listening to music. You know, like if it's a sneaker store, I'm like, hey, do you guys have these? No, there is actually the one time where I remember I went to a sneaker store. I asked them, did you guys have these? I think it was these Anthony. Was it Anthony Edwards or was it? No, I think it was. No, it was James Harden's. I remember it being a pair of Adidas sneakers and stuff. But anyways, it was James Harden, his latest pair of sneakers. So I go in there. I asked them. I asked the one girl. I'm like, do you have the sneakers? Now I checked online and I was like, okay, I know that you guys have the sneakers and stuff. But anyways, I asked them. I was like, hey, do you have these sneakers? Because I know like it could be like they'll mess around and sell like the last pair by the time I get up there because it's some distance and stuff. So anyways, I go up there, I ask her, like, you have these sneakers? She's like, no, we don't. And I kind of had seen in her face that she didn't know what I was talking about. So I kind of did a little lap around the mall, and I'm like, you know what? Let me go in there, check again. And I'm like, I guess, like, that will probably be it. I don't trust the girl, but I'm like, fam, how is that a problem? You know, if the website says one thing, I go in there and then it's like you telling me another. I'm like, it's conflicting. I don't know what to think and stuff. So I go in there, I ask another person, they had the shoes. It was in the back. They chilling, you know, cold, scared. I'm over there rubbing the sneaker box and stuff, trying to calm it down. But anyways, jokes aside though, I didn't give her an attitude. Matter of fact, I went in there, talked with her, chilled. You know, it's like it's one of those things where I'm like, fam, she didn't know what I was talking about. I'm not going to be mad at her over no stuff like that. Times I ain't winning the GameStops, you know, where, because recently talking about them and stuff. You know, I guess like maybe it was that fat guy with the ponytail. That was probably the only person. But other than that, it's like, fam, I don't be like when they ask me about them Power Up rewards cards, for an example. I'm like, oh, no, it's cool. I don't want it. They're like, you sure? It's like, you know, you say, I'm like, nah, I'm cool and stuff. Thing is this, come back up there another day. I'm like, you know what? Go ahead and slap on that Power Up rewards card. You cool. I ain't got no problems with you. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you making some sort of money off of it and stuff. So I want to help you out. But I know it's going to help me out too. Cause there'll be some games I'd be wanting to get where they on sale and stuff, or they got that pro sale and things. I'm like, I might want to take advantage of that and stuff. So, but that's the thing though. You can pinpoint me at all these different stores, establishments, you know, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a sneaker store, whether it's a video, whatever the case may be. You know, even if I be on some movie theater stuff, I don't be in the movie theaters cutting up, acting crazy on my phone, doing all this other extra stuff. I am respectful everywhere I go. That's why I was raised. I wasn't raised to be disrespectful. What reason would I have to be disrespectful? My thing is this: complete stranger approaches me, right? And I've had those moments before. Complete strangers. No, as a matter of fact, this is one thing that I will never forget because it is one of my favorite sneaker experiences. I'm inside, so this is when they used to have the Nike store in Seattle. I'm on my lunch break. This is when I was working in Seattle, by the way, but I'm on my lunch break. Went in there just to kind of look around and stuff. This old couple, they came up to me. Mind you, I don't work for Nike. I never worked. The only thing that I've done for Nike is test out some running shoes for them and stuff. But other than that, I am not an employee, you know, from Nike and stuff or at Nike. But anyways, old couple approaches me and they're all like, hey, what's a good pair of basketball shoes for my granddaughter? I immediately went into being a helpful person mode. I'm like, okay, so if you want to get some shoes with some cushioning, probably be best to go with these shoes. Air Jordan 1s, they will be flashy, but they probably ain't going to be as comfortable and stuff. I'm pointing at all these different shoes, letting them know which ones to get. And I asked them, I'm like, hey, wait, because we were in the men's section. They said granddaughter. So I was like, hey, did you guys go down? Because that's how it was set up. They had the women's stuff at the first floor, and then they had the men's stuff on the second floor. So I was like, hey, did you guys go down there and check and maybe see if there was something that you, and they was all like, oh no, we wanted to get the men's pair. I'm like, hey, it's unisex shoes anyway, so it doesn't even matter. So, but anyways, no, yeah, I helped them out. They ended up getting a pair of shoes. A Nike employee, he looked at me, mouthed out, thank you, and I'm like, wow, that felt pretty good. I'm like, nah, I like that and stuff. That's cool and things, you know. But fam, I'm like, my thing is this, and that's the thing. Still, I'm not calling myself a perfect person. I'm not calling myself, I've had my moments where I've done some things and I'm like, dang, man, I should have did that differently. I should have handled that differently. I should have, and that's the thing where I'm like, over the years, I've grown up. I've became more of a better person. I'm not the best person in the world. I've never called myself the best person in the world. But the thing is this though. I'm not going to listen to people. They have this like philosophy about my life where they think they know everything that they need to know about me. And then they come up with this, I guess, yeah, just, like wordless conclusion where it's like I said, it's just a headline, no story, where I need to change because they want me to change. What is there that needs to be changed? Because my thing is this, you ask anybody else that's had an interaction with me, they're going to be like, nah, he's always been cool with me. He's always been respectful. Joining streams, TikToks, what else? I'm trying to think, people I grew up with and things. I'm like, yeah, he's always been cool with me. He's always been respectful. It's like, oh, he might have got into it with his teachers here and there and stuff. But yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, that was like kid me though. But and over the years, I'm like, I guess like, all right, fast forward, customers at my job. Yeah, there was probably some customers where it's like they just for some reason had it out for me and stuff. And what's crazy is that I'll mention that, right? I'll mention how there's the customers I had some run-ins with. They're gonna ignore the hundreds of customers I was cool with, where I'm like cracking jokes, making them laugh. Like, fam, I remember at my old job there is, and I'm like, it was just weird at times, like how them customers, how much they loved me and stuff. I was like, nah, man, I was probably the best cashier. But no, that place, it actually closed down and stuff. I wish it was still open and things. Because probably if it was still open, I probably would have still been working there and stuff, just because of like how cool it was to overall, like, because I probably would have worked in there, tried to get some better positions, whether it was management or working for the other establishments that was in that building. But no, there was like multiple occasions where customers, it was like, fam, you would have thought that I was some form of like authority at that place. Like, nah, man, them customers, I'm telling you right now, like the customers, they would be like, hey, because it was also like blended in with a clothing store and stuff. I might have mentioned the clothing store before, but I'm gonna keep it anonymous for for this episode and things. But anyways, but no, they was all like, oh yeah, come over and then we'll help you out and things. I never took advantage of it and stuff. I knew that they were all like, oh, they'll give me like sales and deals and things, but I never took advantage of it because I was like, I don't know, man. I just want to, I guess like I don't want to put you in no situation and stuff. So. Because I'm like, yeah, I would rather for you to, me pay full price and you have your job than me paying a certain price. And then you end up contacting me talking about, hey, remember when I gave you half off on that jacket or on them shoes or on whatever? Yeah, I lost my job over that. I don't want to have no conversations like that with people. But nah, from stuff like that to, I remember it was, there was this, I think it was like the same clothing store, but they had like a IT computer. No, actually it was like a computer commercial thing, but they needed like people to do like video editing and stuff like that. So I remember I gave her some advice. This girl handed me a flyer thing for I guess to apply for them. I don't know like whether it was like printed out or if it was but overall she was offering me a job there. I should have taken that job, to be honest. I think yeah, I might look into some stuff like that one day. But anyways, yeah, but from stuff like that to customers like writing emails to my manager saying how much of a good employee that I was and stuff. What else? Oh, then it was the one time, and the funny thing is that there's people at that I worked with where they would be like, yeah, they rolled out the red carpet for Tyler and stuff. But anyways, no, there was a time I remember where, because there was 2 registers, so everybody was at my register. My friend Jack, he walks up and he's all like, hey, I can help the next person in line. Nobody moved. And I'm like, fam, and that's the thing. People will probably be all like, oh, he probably wasn't a good cashier. Jack, if my thing is this, if there was, I guess, like an Avengers team of like cashiers and stuff, Jack, he has to be, I don't know, me, who would I, but like, I wouldn't, maybe Captain, I probably would be like Captain America or maybe Iron Man, one of the two. Jack had to have been like Thor, Incredible Hulk. Like, he was good. He was good enough to be on the official team, not like any of them side Avenger movies and stuff. Like, no, he would have been like, he was on the big leagues. He was good, but it was like good enough to where they gave him a supervisor position and stuff. So yeah, that was one thing about Jack. It's like, he was a good cashier. Like, it will probably be me, him, and then there's like, it'll probably, but yeah, I would say like, yeah, he's somebody where I'm like, nah, if it was on the table to work with him again, I'm like, oh yeah, definitely going to take up that opportunity and stuff, you know. So yeah, that's what I'm like, he wasn't no bad employee, he wasn't no bad cashier, none of that. It was just all the customers that was in that line, I was cool with them. You know, so it was like, I mean, I had customers having me meet their family. Like, I remember this one customer, that's how we ended up being cool with each other. She was telling me about her kid having night terrors and stuff. And so, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, you know, like, I don't know what the cause may be, but I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, kid probably be sleeping with no TV and stuff. So I'm like, that's what I told her. I'm like, hey, I don't know if that's something that you would be willing to do, or if you already have that. Have put a TV in his room, have it where it's on whatever channel and things. White noise to him. I'm telling you right now, that kid's gonna wait. He's gonna find himself just asleep or waking up the next morning, and he's gonna be like, what just happened? Like, I was flipping through the channels and I was watching TV, and all of a sudden I'm asleep and things. Like, I'm telling you, like, TVs, it would, at least for me, growing up, TV would always put me to sleep. I'll wake up there would be times where I'll just be like kind of just listening and stuff, or be up watching and things. I find myself, you know, opening my eyes in this daytime, and I'm like, what just happened? Like, I was watching Adult Swim, I was watching Family Guy, and now all of a sudden I'm waking up. And I'm waking up to, like, you know, the adventures of Gumball and whatever that show is called and things. But I was like, I'm giving them advice on how to, like, help help her kid out and stuff. And then I remember it, fast forward. Sometime later, she brings in her husband, she brings in the kid. I think she had 2 kids, but either way, I'm like, she brought in the family and was having me meeting them and stuff. And I was like, wow. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I guess I never really looked at myself as a individual to, you know, meeting families and things. But I mean, hey, I guess, you know, but overall though, that's one thing about it where it's like, you know, I sit down and I think of stuff like that, and I'm like, fam, if I had, you know, I guess there's this thing about me that needed to change, them customers would have been telling me to change. Other people on YouTube would be telling me to change. Yeah, the internet would be telling me to change. Not just a small little corner on the internet. No, the whole internet would have been telling me that I need to change. You know, people like other content creators and YouTuber, or, you know, yeah, just any and everybody. But if it's only a corner of the internet that's telling me to change, what is it, I guess, that needs to be changed where it's like you guys are the only ones dealing with it and nobody else is dealing with it? So yeah, that's why I'm like, fam, that whole like TMossBoss needs to change crap, I'm like, yeah, that's another one of those things. I'm like, yeah, you can let go of that. I'm like, find something else to talk on, find something new to talk about, because I've been hearing that way too often, or just way too many times throughout the years and stuff. So, but anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.